Thank you for having me today and giving me a little bit of your time this afternoon. As Alistair mentioned, I work in a department called People Analytics at Google. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about how to use data to make HR decisions in particular, and hopefully convince you that this is not a crazy notion, but tell you how we go about it and a couple of stories about how we've done it. So let's see if you can read my director's scrawl here. This is the mission of our department, that all people decisions at Google are made based on data and analytics. And so the group that I'm a part of has about 30 people. We're composed of three kind of different types. So we have about 1/3 PhDs in psychology, organizational behavior, sociology, behavioral economics, these kinds of social science disciplines. We have about 1/3 MBAs who focused on human capital, different kinds of HR topics within their MBA programs. And then we have about 1/3 who have come from all over but are just experts in data mining. So using kind of emerging or advanced tools to mine the data that we have. And so this is our mission. We try to make sure that all of the people decisions, whether that be, focused on compensation, talent management, staffing, the HR business partners who support different areas of the business, any of the decisions that are made in any of these realms, we try to put data toward. So I'm going to quickly go through what we call the analytic value chain, which is how we actually make decisions based on data. And I'm hoping that you guys can take this away and use this in your own organizations as well. So we generally start with what we refer to as opinion. And this is how a lot of people think HR organizations are run. Whether or not that is the case is kind of up to you guys and what you see. But opinion, as you all know, is based on your gut feel, your experience. People just saying, well, I just know this is true because I've seen it happen for years and this is just how it is. So this is where you don't want to be, right? This is why analytics departments exist, so that you can move kind of beyond people's opinions. So next, you have data, and all HR groups basically have a ton of data, right? Who's in the organization? How many people get promoted? What percentage of the people are leaving the company? HR and data are not inherently working against each other. There's been data in HR forever, right? But data in and of itself is not really very easily digested. So if I gave you a list of everyone working in your organization, who really cares? You can't really do anything with that, right? So it's raw. You have no insight coming out of, just a blank spreadsheet of data. So the next kind of move up the chain is what we refer to as metrics. Metrics are good. Generally, what this is counts or things like ratios that you might send out on a regular basis. So this is the percentage of managers that we have for every full-time employee. And these are kind of interesting. You can trend them over time, and they help give people a little bit more insight into what's happening in the company. But over time, if you're sending out dashboards of metrics again and again, people are going to get numb to them. They just expect to see it. They don't necessarily take anything new out of it. They just kind of take it for granted. And I don't want to underestimate the importance of metrics. You have to kind of start here, right? You have to have some sort of understanding of what's happening in your organization. But that doesn't help you make decisions or drive action. This just helps to get to know kind of who's there, what's happening. So the next thing you want to do is start to analyze. And this is where we like to play. This is where you want to be. And this is where you can start to look at the different data that you have and draw connections between your data. So what are the relationships between X and Y? And I'll give you a couple of examples in the next few minutes about how we've analyzed some of our data and gotten some kind of cool insights out of it. But this is kind of moving in the right direction. And then the last two are kind of the pinnacle. You take your analysis, you draw out an insight, and then you push it to drive action in the company. And so that's kind of the process that we follow as we're trying to make a decision, test a hypothesis, and move from just an opinion or a myth, a rumor, et cetera, down toward action and trying to really change and improve the company.